It's a great honor to be here with you today, because only the best people from the industry take the time to go to a conference. It shows eagerness and it shows leadership, and that's what we need in today's industry. Because nowadays the market is looking for a solution in digital print where they can have a unique design that is printed at low cost, and the public opinion has never been as critical as today with regard to sustainability. And it's very hard to have the right balance between these three elements, because how can you achieve a high level of creativity when the market is looking for a low-cost solution? I believe that developments in supply chain and technology will help you in having the right balance between these three elements. And that's why I'm going to tell you about dye sublimation paper and what it can do for you and for your business. My name is Reshma Bhansing. I'm marketeer at Neenah Coldenhove. Neenah Coldenhove is a paper manufacturer founded in 1661. So we produce paper for more than 3.5 centuries already. And we have been a family business for many, many years. But as of 2017, we are part of the Neenah Group. And Neenah Coldenhove is the inventor and manufacturer of digital sublimation paper. And I'm very excited to tell you about the possibilities of this technique that made the digital revolution happen in the textile industry. Let me start with one of my favorite quotes. "The greatest ideas are the simplest." I really like this quote because it shows that an idea does not have to be huge in order to be great. Let me show you this with an example. YR is a young company that is specialized in live event printing. They cooperate together with retailers in order to let their customers experience customization of their own goods. So how does this process work? A customer goes into a store and can create its own design. This design is then printed on the paper and is then transferred on, in this case, the t-shirt. And the end result is a very happy customer that has its own design on his t-shirt. And this process did not take more than 10 minutes. So think of what this process can do for your business as a fashion designer. A great idea executed via a very simple method, because that is what sublimation is. I believe that the simplicity of the success of sublimation lies in its simplicity. Because once you have the design, you only need to print it on the paper, and this is then transferred on the textile. And this is where the magic happens, because here is where the sublimation takes place. Thanks to the high temperature and the high pressure, the ink drops change from a solid stage into a gas stage, and they penetrate into the polyester. So the end result is a permanent full color print on your t-shirt or your textile, and the quality of this print will not be damaged by the amount of washings. The materials needed: it's the digital printing machine, sublimation ink, a sublimation transfer paper, a sublimation press or a calendar, and polyester, because this process is only limited to polyester. Or you can use mixed polyester, but then it needs to be at least made of 50% polyester. So what is in it for you? This process brings you flexibility, because now you can produce either small collections or you can produce very large quantities. It's up to you. It's a very eco-friendly process because no water is used during the printing process. It's very easy to use, and the end result is a permanent, high-resolution, full-color print, and the quality of this print will not be damaged by the amount of washings. And sublimation is not something new. Big brands like Ted Baker and Adidas have made use of this technique for many, many years already. Even you probably have it in your wardrobe already too. As you can see, even I have. And the popularity of this technique increases. The development in printers make that the printers are printing faster, the quality of the inks and the paper are improving, and therefore the total cost of printing is lowering. And that makes it for other parties interesting to join this industry and to make use of this technique. This graph shows the shows the sales curve of the sale of our sublimation paper. And as you can see, as of 2013, there's an instant and constant growth in the sale of sublimation paper. Quality. I have brought 2 pieces of paper. And as you can see, the difference of these 2 papers are very small. You don't see the difference really. But the truth is that this is a paper that you will find in your copier in your office, and this is an example of a dye sublimation paper. So in order to understand the difference between these 2 papers, I need to go a little bit more in the technology behind the sublimation paper. So what are the important factors of a qualitative sublimation paper? Let us take a look at that. A qualitative paper exists of 2 layers. In the gray area, the lighter gray area is the base paper, and the coating, that's the darker gray area. And both layers have a very important function towards the textile, because the base paper makes sure that you have an even print on your textile, and the coating makes sure that the ink drops stay on top of the paper and that you have a high and a quick ink release. And this technique has been patented by Neenah Coldenhove. The production process is also unique by Neenah Coldenhove because we produce both the base paper and we coat our paper in line. This is different when you compare it to other paper producers where they buy their base paper from external parties. So Neenah Coldenhove is able to guarantee you a consistent quality. So you don't have to worry that the quality of one collection will differ to another collection. Cost. We see cost is a very important element for many parties in the fashion industry. And we see that some of our customers are very, very cost focused. They are interested in, for example, buying uncoated paper instead of coated paper because they believe that when they buy cheaper paper, their total cost of printing will go down. But is that really the case? What is the difference between coated and uncoated paper? Let us take a look at that. On the left-hand side, you will see the coated paper. The gray part is the base paper, here. And the blue part is the coating, and the pink part is the ink that stays on top of the paper. On the right hand, you will see the uncoated paper. Again, the gray part is the base paper, and the pink part is the ink. And as you can see, the ink is absorbed in the sheet. So this basically means that when you make use of a coated paper, you can save up to 35% of ink. Another thing we see is that customers are interested in having lower weight papers. Lower weight papers mean that you have more paper on a roll, and therefore the total cost, this is also associated with lower cost. But also lower weight papers have their limitations, because lower weight papers can handle heavy ink load designs. It will cause cockling and it will cause head crashes on the paper. So for every design there is an optimum paper that you can use, and therefore Neenah Coldenhove has invested in a very large portfolio of different kind of papers. We have a product group, Jet called the Original. This is focused on plotter printers, for example, the Epson printers. We have a product group for the industrial platform, and this is the platform that is very popular in the fashion industry. And we have a product group that has special characteristics. So these are the papers that have, for example, adhesive properties or have an extremely high drying speed. But all of these papers differ from each other with regard to grammage, ink coverage, transfer yield, and drying speed. We do operate, a lot of our papers go into the fashion industry, but we do not only operate in the fashion industry. 30% of our papers do go in the sportswear industry, but we also have papers for the signage market and for the home furnishing market. So if you're interested as a designer in making designs in other fields than fashion, we are happy to help you with making the best decision of what kind of paper you should use for your design. Sustainability. This is also a very important topic for all of us here in this room. We as a paper manufacturer feel responsible for the environment, and therefore we have done several initiatives the past few years in order to reduce our global footprint. Let me show you one of our biggest initiatives that we have taken. Energy use. This gray graph shows the production process. So as you can see, here is where all the raw material goes in. In the first part, the pulp is created, is produced. This pulp goes into the paper machine, and here's where the paper is made. It goes then into the winder and then goes to the client. During the paper production, a lot of energy is released. But what happens with this energy? All the energy that is released during the paper production goes into the heat treatment system. And the heat treatment system makes sure that all the energy that is needed in the paper production, again, goes back into the paper production process. So what happens with the residual heat? A part of the residual heat goes into the offices of Neenah Coldenhove, so the offices are heating up during the winter. The other part of the residual heat goes into the swimming pool of Eerbeek. It's a swimming pool that's located in the neighborhood of Coldenhove. So during the summer, we have warm water in the swimming pool. So in the end, no energy is wasted. On top of this, we are working on an energy reduction plan in order to make sure that we reduce our energy use every year. So, for in 2017 and 2018, we had made investments in a new pulper, for example, and we optimized the water process. We are proudly to say that in 2018 we have already realized an energy reduction of 6%. And it's our goal that in 2020 we want to achieve an energy reduction of 10% compared to 2016. Water use. This is also a very interesting topic because some of the people in the industry are critical toward paper production. They believe that paper production is environmentally unfriendly because it uses a lot of water. But what is special about our production process is that we reuse all of our water. Let me show you how this works. So here again, the production process. Here is where the pulp is produced. And the pulp goes into the paper production part. And as you can see, 95% of all the water goes back into the pulper again. And 5%, what happens with the 5% that does not go back to the pulper? The 5% of water that does not go back to the pulper goes into the water treatment plants. This is an external company that's also located in Eerbeek. They clean the water, and then the water is transferred to another paper factory that's also located in Eerbeek. But we are doing investigations in order to see how we can make sure that the 5% that goes now to an external location goes also back to our pulper so that we have a closed loop. The past 20 years, we have worked on an international network in order to supply all of our customers worldwide. And the blue part of this map shows all the countries we operate in. And we have opened several warehouses in order to reduce our supply time. So as you can see, in the US, we have 3 warehouses. And we are planning to open a new warehouse in Colombia and also one in Singapore so that we can supply our customers in Latin America and in Asia also with a shorter supply time. It's our goal to supply all of our customers worldwide within 48 hours. Looking into the future. sublimation on different substrates than polyester. We just had a beautiful presentation on this field, but we are having a research and development department that is working on how we can make sure that we use the sublimation also on different substrates than polyester. The Young Designers Academy. We are inspiring young designers. We want to inspire young designers because they shape the future of the fashion industry. And I believe that with our paper, they can make a difference. And last but not least, we want a closer collaboration with designers and print houses. We want to work together with you because together we can, I believe that together we can create great results. So when you are looking for the perfect print, contact Neenah Coldenhove. Thank you for your time.